I, 34 never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these posts. For years, I used to read stories on relationship subreddits and think, how do people miss the signs? I genuinely believed that if my wife ever cheated on me, I'd know immediately. Looking back now, that confidence feels almost embarrassing. My wife, 32F, and I had been together for 11 years, married for 7. We met when we were both broke, working terrible jobs, and trying to figure out life. We built everything together from scratch. The apartment, the careers, the savings account, even the stupid traditions like ordering takeout every Friday night and watching bad reality TV. At least that's what I thought. If I'm being honest, the problems didn't start overnight. About 8 months before everything exploded, something changed. At first it was subtle. She became more irritable than usual. Every conversation somehow turned into an argument. If I asked how her day went, she'd snap at me. If I forgot something small, she'd act like I'd committed a crime. She constantly seemed annoyed by my existence. I blamed work stress. Then came the lying. Not huge lies. Little ones. The kind that make you feel crazy because they're too small to confront. She'd tell me she was at a coffee shop. Later I'd discover she had actually been somewhere else. She'd say she got home at 8 p.m. when I knew it was closer to 10. She'd tell me she forgot to answer my texts, but I'd see her active on social media during the exact same period. Every time I pointed something out, she'd get defensive immediately. Why are you interrogating me? Do you not trust me? You're being paranoid. After a while, I started questioning myself. Maybe I was paranoid. Maybe work stress was affecting both of us. Then another strange thing happened. She suddenly became obsessed with privacy. For years, neither of us cared about phones. If mine died, I'd use hers. If she needed to look something up, she'd grab mine. That completely changed. One night, I picked up her phone to check the weather because mine was charging. She practically ripped it out of my hands. I need that. The reaction was so intense that I just stared at her. She immediately softened her tone. Sorry. Work stuff. Work stuff. That became her answer for everything. Why are you staying late? Work stuff. Why are you texting at midnight? Work stuff. Why are you suddenly taking phone calls outside? Work stuff. I wanted to believe her. I really did. Because the alternative was terrifying. Then came the first major red flag. One Friday evening, she told me she was going out with 2 of her friends from work. Nothing unusual. She left around 7 p.m. Around midnight, I got a message from one of those friends. Not intentionally. She posted a group photo on social media from a restaurant. The problem? My wife wasn't in it. Not at the table. Not in the background. Nowhere. I remember staring at the photo for several minutes. Maybe she arrived late. Maybe she left early. Maybe I was overthinking. But a feeling settled into my stomach that I couldn't shake. When she came home at nearly 2 a.m., I casually asked how dinner went. Without hesitation, she smiled and started describing the evening. The restaurant. The conversations. The people who attended. Every detail. The problem was that some of those details directly contradicted the photo I'd seen. And she told the lies so effortlessly. Like she'd rehearsed them. That was the first night I lay awake wondering if I actually knew the woman sleeping beside me. The next few weeks were torture. Not because I had proof of anything. Because I didn't. And somehow, not knowing was worse. Once that doubt got into my head, I started noticing things everywhere. Little inconsistencies. Small lies. Odd behavior. She kept coming home later and later. Sometimes she'd text me 30 minutes before she was supposed to arrive and say there was an emergency at work. Other times, she'd disappear for hours without answering messages. Then she'd walk through the door, acting completely normal. Meanwhile, I felt like I was losing my mind. One evening, she came home unusually happy. Not just in a good mood. Excited. Almost glowing. Then she saw me, and the smile immediately disappeared. A few days later, she exploded at me for asking to spend time together, accused me of controlling her, and left to stay with a friend. Then came strange finances. Unknown charges. Restaurants. Gas in places she never mentioned. Then the accident call from a repair shop. Your wife was a passenger. Passenger in another man's car. A name I had never heard before. My world cracked open. That night, everything escalated. Messages appeared on her phone. Did he believe the accident story? Call me when he's asleep. I found hotel charges, hidden reservations, and screenshots showing an ongoing affair. With a man I later realized I actually knew. Eric. A friend of mine. My wife had been living a double life for months. Maybe longer. Then Eric's wife contacted me. We compared timelines. Everything matched. Every lie, every work trip, every disappearance, every hotel. They had been together for months behind both our backs. When I confronted my wife, she finally admitted it. 8 months. But it wasn't just Eric. There had been others before him. She had been cheating in overlapping relationships for over a year. She had also been secretly moving money, around $12,000, to fund the affair. Some friends knew. Some helped cover it up. My entire reality had been a fabrication. Eric later showed up at my door. He gave me messages, screenshots, and confirmed she had lied to both of us. Then I saw it. In the messages, he's too trusting. That's how she described me. Not loving, not loyal, just too trusting. A weakness to exploit. Eventually, everything collapsed. Divorce, lawyers, confessions. Even after being caught, she tried contacting Eric again. Even after everything, she still couldn't let go. The truth kept changing until there was nothing left to hide. In the end, I learned something I didn't want to learn. Trust isn't something you should blindly give. It has to be earned and maintained. Not ignored. Not excused. Not defended at your own expense. I don't hate her anymore. But I don't trust her either. And that difference is everything. The marriage didn't survive. But I did. And that turned out to be the most important part.